So we have the Princess of Cups coming up. That's the Page of Cups in traditional decks. And what I'm always drawn to in the Page of Cups is the little fish in the cup. The Page is the only one that has something. Like the Queen of Cups has a cup covered sometimes, but the Page of Cups has this little fish. That shows that there's something here, but it needs to be nurtured. It needs to be grown. That fish can't live in the cup, right? And so it's about a budding emotion, the beginning of something. Pages are very similar to the aces in that they indicate the beginning. They have the capacity, the potential for, the king energy to get up to the king. But pages are the least experienced. They don't have the full information here. It's very innocent always when the pages or the princesses come up. So it's the beginning of a feeling around something. That's what we're looking at this week, feelings. And you have the King of Swords coming up with this. And Gemini kind of got something similar to this, but this was more internal, head and heart. And have a look here. So your head, if we look at the swords as our thoughts, our ideas, our beliefs, right, and how we communicate them, there's mastery here over that. And there is this kind of sense of mastery. So you've kind of figured out some stuff, probably about yourself. It usually is about us. Even when it's about someone else, it's about us. And you've got mastery here. This is a card of mastery as well. So, maybe you've done I always see like talk therapy, figuring out, getting some knowledge, some understanding when the King of Swords comes up. So around your feelings. Now, I want to say this to you, Cancer, and I've been saying this to everyone. How do we know when we're truly healed? How do we know when we're ready to get back? How do we know? Now, think about it. Say we'll use the example of getting thrown off a horse. You got thrown off a horse. That's frightening, right? You go off, you heal yourself, the broken bones are mended, you get over your fear of horses, you're good. You're good. But the true test is when you get back on the horse. You get back on the horse. Now, on the surface, logically, everything's done. Everything's good. You have an understanding of what's happened here. But this is now about the next level. Can you get back on the horse? Can you use that? And mentally, yes, like I said, you're a king. But emotionally, we've got the Page coming up. It hasn't reached the same level of mastery, the same level of exploration. Now, why I say that is we have the Nine of Pentacles coming up at the heart of your reading. Heart of the reading is what everything revolves around. It's either our purpose, what's causing this, or, what we're focused on, what we're trying to aim at. Now, what everything's revolved around for you, especially with that king coming up there, is your own independence, is your own confidence. I get the sense, especially with that Three of Swords coming up here, that, and a lot of us are getting these kinds of messages, so trust it's not just you, is that you've done this. You've created this safe space for yourself. Whether that's to do with relationships, whether that's to do with work or business or, your family, whatever it is, you have created this safe space for yourself. You've put in the work. That's the point of the Nine of Pentacles. The card before it is the Eight of Pentacles. And the guy in the Eight of Pentacles is busy working away, trying to perfect what he's doing. He puts in that effort for his long-term security and stability. But you've done a really great job at that. Pause and be grateful for it. Pause and enjoy it. Enjoy this place of security and stability that you've created. And yet there are two cards of the comfort zone that come up. One of them is the Four of Pentacles. Now that's more because we don't have anything to give. It feels like a big risk to leave the safety and security of the comfort zone. The Nine of Pentacles is a little different from that. This is the gilded cage. We've put in so much time and effort to create this sanctuary, the safe space that we've reached, right? That we don't want to leave it. And it says, yeah, you've got an amazingly beautiful god. I mean, look, her bloody pathway is pentacles here. She's extravagant looking. The bird of prey that's always shown here, that shows mastery. You've mastered that side of yourself. And yet there's a whole world to explore outside of this. So it's to enjoy it. Know that sanctuary is there for you when you want to come back to it. But it should allow you as a home base to go and explore out further, to go and, expand this. Now, this is going to go in one of two ways for you guys. The first one is that you've gotten to this place individually of where you are and you don't want to leave that. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready to give up my independence, or, I'm confident with what I have, but I don't know if I'm confident enough to take that out. You have the knowledge though, and knowledge and expertise to do this. So please trust that. For others of you, you're still at the 7, and to gain this. I know it sounds weird because this is independence. This person has done it themselves. But no matter what you're working on, I mean, I have my own business. I work by myself. No one else does my readings for me. No one else makes my videos for me. But I still have people that support me, that allow me to do what I do, even by myself. Because I might come up as a Nine of Pentacles. Someone who's worked hard for what they have themselves. And yet I have my tribe, I have my family, I have my friends, I have my inner circle. They might not be practically involved with what I do, but they enable me and allow me to do what I do. So for others of you, it's that's what's coming in. But let's see. The Seven of Pentacles in the past, you have put in so much time and effort into tending to your garden. That's how I see this. You know, planted the seeds, watered them. You've been working hard at this. And yet with the Seven of Pentacles coming up, it's where, and that could be last week, last month, last year. Well, you've been looking at your life, looking at what you get back. What are the returns that I get back? Wherever I put my effort, my time, my patience even, what do I get back for that? You've been going through this. You've been going through this. And for those of you that, you know, that was well served, that time well served, that kind of review, that kind of looking at, you know, what fruit am I getting back from my garden that I've been working on? A lot of it, the high side or the light side of this energy is that you realize, wow, you know, if I can do this, I can do anything. Look at how well I've done to get to where I am. You might have had like dry soil, not enough seeds, whatever, but you made that work for you. You made that work for you. But this is about patiently having put effort into something. Now, this kind of feels like that last stop, in that Pentacles are about the physical effort we put in things, the things that we're trying to build, right? Practical things that we can see, feel, and touch. Our homes, our finances, investments, families, relationships, all of that. Things that survive us, things that we build to be our legacy. And working through that and patiently putting in the effort, which you have done. This tells me that. It's led you to this place of immense knowledge. But did you lose your emotional satisfaction somewhere along the way? You know, it might look good on paper. It might make sense to do it. It does with all of this. How does it make you feel though? Is there something new that's calling to you emotionally? Have you been neglecting your emotional needs while you've been kind of exploring other things or working on things? And that's why we have the Two of Cups coming up in the present. The Two of Cups, an interesting one. It's where someone else's cup matches our own. That's why I kind of harp on big time when the Ace of Cups shows up. As if we can take the time with the Ace of Cups to really look at how we feel, to really fill our cup with goodness and, you know, self-respect, self-love, self-care, all of that stuff. That gets matched when we get to the Two of Cups, because that's the next step in the cycle. And the cycle goes from the Ace to the 10, right? But I kind of feel, and I'm going to say this, and you can disagree, it's fine, but that's your story. Then this reading isn't for you. For those of you that want to achieve that true happily ever after, full emotional satisfaction, because things can look great on paper, doesn't mean it makes us feel happy. It feels like partnerships, unions, sacred unions, all of this stuff, it's key now to that growth. So I want you to look at it this way. For some of you, whenever I get a King and a Page of Princess of Cups, I will say this. There may be an age difference relationship. It doesn't have to just be an age. You know, this could be the difference between someone who's only ever been in one long-term relationship and someone who's dated a lot, worked out who they are in relationships. See, there's a difference in knowledge and experience there. That can come up. This can also be in terms of, I mean, there's a very naive, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but there's a very naive energy around the Princess of Cups. She's innocent. She's just loving, you know, oh, that would feel good. But the King of Swords knows better. He detaches from his emotions. He does what's best for the greater good. This would be good. He can detach from his emotions. He knows what is right. His word is his oath. He will, you know, he stands by his knowledge and he expresses it very clearly. But with the Two of Cups here, it is about, you know, and it's coming up in the present. So right now, there could be the desire that, you know, I've done all this by myself. I've worked on this by myself. But it'd be great if I could connect with someone that was my person. You know, a best friend. I'd just love to have a best friend that could help me through this. And I say this every time the Two of Cups comes up. The biggest Two of Cups connection I ever had in my life that changed my life was a friendship. It wasn't a romantic, nothing romantic ever happened with me and him. He was the friend that I needed at that time in my life. And he was only there for a short time, 2 or 3 years. Then we went, I imagine if I saw him around, I'd still say, hey, we'd still have that connection. But we haven't been in each other's lives for a very long time. So some of you might desire a connection like that. It doesn't have to just be a best friend. Someone in the family, you wish they had your back. A romantic partner, a lover, your person. Someone that feels the same way as you and that you can work together. But the thing with and some of you might already be in this. It's not that you want a connection like that. You have a connection like that. Where you might not have even expressed it to each other. Although the Page of Cups would then suggest, or Princess of Cups, that this is the week. Don't worry about it. As long as you feel it, the emotion is nurtured and grown by talking about it, by considering it. Communication is key when the King, Queen, Knight, Page of Swords come up. It's how we communicate those emotions. And I will always remind you of this. Two of Cups, second step in that cycle, right? Ace to the 10. There's a connection. This talks about a connection. But where it goes is based on the free will of both people. And I love this deck. This is my third tarot deck of this deck, right? Because I used it so much. And it has some of my favorite depictions. The King of Wands, the Three of Wands, they're all my favorite. This is the worst depiction of the Two of Cups. I don't like this depiction of the Two of Cups. Because they're always equal. They're always focused on each other's cups. So I don't understand why he's carrying her around. It doesn't really go with the Two of Cups vibe, the way that I see it. But the focus is always on the cups. Oh my God, a cups match. You feel the same way as me. We're on the same page here. But I want you to think of this. If you can imagine, one of them is like, oh my God, this person is the most loving, supportive, connected person. You know, I kind of need them in my life. I feel supported and loved by having this person in my life. I think about them all the time and they think, wow, that's my person. So that's their takeaway from that emotion, is that this is my person. The other person might feel exactly the same way. Never felt so connected. What's going on here? They might be frightened by that. But then what happens to my independence? Do you see what I mean? So two people can feel exactly the same way and their reactions can be very different. And I feel with that King of Swords sat above this, that it's going to be key to explore this, communicate around this, whether it's with that person or not. But that's what this week is for, because it's the present. That's the main energy for this week. Everything else is, I'm going to sneeze. I'm not. Okay. Everything else is kind of filler around it. How do we explore this energy? There we go. Excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, everything is a filler around that. How do we communicate around that? What does that say then about all the effort and stuff that I put in to myself, to the work that I've done? Now, if we can figure out where this goes, the potential is there for the Ten of Cups. Now, the card that comes up in the future, there's no guarantees ever. So let's just forget that straight away. It's a projection from where we are. Either with that person, if it's romantic, or via that person, if they're there for support or love or nurturing, you do see this potential for a happily ever after. And that's the eyes on the prize. I always say when the Ten of Cups comes up, eyes on the prize. How does it feel? How does that happily ever after feel? That's what cups are about. I really get the sense with this reading, Cancer, that, I hope I didn't call you Capricorn. I had a feeling that I called you Capricorn. I get a real sense, Cancer, that you've done this, that you've amazingly looked at the practical, done the kind of logical, the thinking behind it, maybe even communicated around it. But emotionally, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And I kind of have a lot of like Pisces, Scorpio, even Cancer clients who they try so hard to not be governed by their emotions, to have that kind of balance, right? But we still can't forget who we are at our core. It's emotional beings, especially true for you as a water sign. So remember this, with this energy, it's where we're very focused on how it looks, what we're building, because that's what earth energy is. If you can't hold it, possess it, see it, you know, it doesn't exist. But cups no different. Water signs no different, in that a feeling can be just as important. That can propel you forward, that can get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. And that's the urge, is like focus on the potential that you see, the emotional potential that you see in this situation. And you'll either get the tribe, the partnership, the support that you need to push you through in this, or, you know, together, if you talk about this together, how do we see our future playing out? That plays out. It's a beautiful reading. It's a beautiful reading, Cancer. But it's that sense of, if you look at the advice, what is it that can kind of not deter you, but what can be a spanner in the works here? The old stories, the old heartache, the old pain. But it's reminding you that Seven of Pentacles sits above it. That remember how much work and effort you've put into this. You've healed that heart. You've healed it. You pull those 3 swords out. You've become independent and strong and confident. And so, I mean, I always say this, that why would we just accept anyone who's not like us? And I know some of us want opposites or different people, but for example, I'm all about the warrior path. So I will want a warrior as my partner. I don't want, I run with warriors with my friends, my family, potential lovers. It's always warriors. People that are strong and that no matter what comes up, they're always looking for, how can I improve this? How can I move forward? That's just me. Everyone has their own individual idea of what their happily ever after looks like, or what their perfect companion would be. If you've got someone now who's kind of triggering this kind of connection or wanting, or even if there's no one and you want that, right? Logically, you know what that looks like. It's still an exploration. How would it make you feel to be with that? What is your happily ever after? What would be the outcome? The free will of both people gets you to this happily ever after here. And the interesting thing though is with that 9 of Pentacles there, it's pulling you outside of your comfort zone. There is a push-pull here. It's like, but Jay, no, I've done this by myself and, I've built this. I'll say another thing. There's this kind of sense, especially with the 9 of Pentacles coming up, of the idea or, someone in theory is there connected with you on the same page as you. But then I question why you're here. Why are you by yourself in this garden? Why do you need this safe retreat of what you're building by yourself? Because those are 2 very different energies. And like I said, compare it differently for each of you. For some of you, you don't want to lose your independence and confidence to connect with someone. It could be that sense of, I feel like I'm losing myself, but you're not. King of Swords will never lose himself. He knows who he is. And so your advice very clearly, 3 of Swords, is asking you, is that the truth? Is that the actuality of it? Or are you remembering an old hurt? Are you remembering the pain of something that you've already healed? Looking down at the scar and remembering, well, I remember how that scar came about, but you healed the wound. It's just a scar there. It's a memory of that thing. 9 of Wands coming up here. Someone else got the 9 of Wands. I think it was Taurus as their advice. And this comes from when we're defensive. Because remember, this person wants to stay safe. This person wants to stay safe. And so if there is this thing of partnering up with other people, business, work, love, romance of your lifetime can be that's how it feels with the 2 of Cups sometimes. If it's a love reading, it's a profound connection, whichever way it comes through. Profound. But they mirror us. They mirror us. And that doesn't mean they are us. It means they hold up a mirror to who we are. And so it's kind of showing you where that defensiveness is. Remember, why are you not able to get back on the horse? What is it that's preventing you from getting back on this horse? That's the question for this week. But that's beautiful. That connection will get you to this, to your happy, whether it's via that connection itself is what you want the happily ever after with, or you have it separate as in your business or something that you're working on, your home, and that someone comes in to encourage you, love you, support you to get this.